Hi everyone, and welcome to your first Deepen Your Learning video. Each week you guys are going to have these videos from me that talk about some of the topics that you've been studying, especially the ones that are a little bit harder to understand. This one we're going to focus on truth. So as we go through this discussion today, keep some notes and write down any questions you might have. That way, if there's still any lack of clarity on these more difficult concepts, you can send me a message or you can put it in your Deepen Your Learning activity quiz that you will take later. Whether we're talking about religious or scientific information, it's easy to take that information and make interpretations about it. Some of these interpretations are correct and some are not. When we look at God's works and we look at God's words, that helps us to narrow down our zone of truth so we can find the real truth rather than just one based on our own interpretation of an idea. At some point, all of us are going to encounter a conflict between science and religion. It might be something that we feel personally. It could also be something that we hear about from someone that we love or we just see on social media. When we have these kinds of conflicts, it's important to recognize that the observation or the truth about whatever the conflict is in science and religion is not the problem. The problem is how we are interpreting that information. That interpretation can be difficult to separate ourselves from because those interpretations are often based on our own experiences or the experiences of a loved one. So while this is easy to say that the problem is about the observations and not the interpretations, it's not always easy to apply. So that leaves us with a question: what can we do when we find ourselves facing a conflict between science and religion? And one of the things that we can do is ask ourselves, if we want to find the truth, we have to find information that is consistent with both the revealed truth, the religious aspect, and scientific observation. When we find things that are consistent with both types of those information, then we can find the truth. We also want to keep remembering that we are asking two different questions when we're talking about science and when we're talking about religion. So while we may be focused on the same topic, for example, creation, religion is attempting to answer questions about why that occurred, and science is attempting to answer questions about how that occurred. When we consider that there are two different questions, it helps us see how there can be true answers to both and that they can be consistent with one another inside the zone of truth. While the task of finding truth is not always easy or even straightforward, I do have a testimony that Heavenly Father wants us to be able to find the truth. The truth is greatly valuable to Him as it is to us, and we can find great happiness when we find the truth. We may have experienced this as growing a testimony with religious truths, and I also believe that finding scientific truth can bring us great joy as well, and we'll come to see that there are so many wonderful things that Heavenly Father has done with creations in a scientific sense, and I hope we can all gain an appreciation for those throughout this course.